The frauds from the future are calling. It's time to make a binding vow to save all of Jujutsu society. Would I lose? Nah, I'd win. What's up guys, it's Punchy, and this time I've got a special character built for you all that's perfect following up on this year's Valentine's Day. Seriously, I've been thinking, it's about time I drop my old browser and pick up something a little bit cooler. If you're like me, my old browser was so boring, but it doesn't have to be this way. With Opera GX, customization is super easy and fast. You can pick your own special mod to have a custom background music alongside a dedicated wallpaper, special keyboard sounds, and even audio indications when you open and close tabs. All you gotta do is pick up a mod from the GX store and toggle it on or off from your sidebar. When I'm working on school or videos, it's pretty overwhelming, but Opera GX and its built-in ChatGPT let me access the resources I need to research so I can spend less time on homework and more on gaming. This feature saves a ton of time when I'm busy, and yeah, it's super valuable. But remember, Opera GX is completely free, no Robux needed. Just head on over to your settings to import your old browser settings to Opera GX because it's easy. Head on over to the link in my description below because it really helps me out and you can try this for yourself. Thanks again to Opera GX. Previously, I've remade characters from all sorts of anime and manga, but Jujutusu Kaisen, my favorite anime of all history for right now at least, stood out to me. It seems like I'm cursed, bound to this series, returning time and time again, but that's okay. This time, I'm doing something very different with the inclusion of both the Jujutsu Kaisen anime and, after popular demand, manga content as well. Watch the full Shibuya incident arc, which contains most of today's spoilers, but there will be some parts from the latest JJK chapters. What makes a sorcerer truly special grade? Maybe it's their bloodline cursed into existence and tipping the balance. Perhaps they have a collection of cursed spirits that nobody else can contain. That's definitely special, but our haunted hero is today's specific focus. Introducing Yuta Okkotsu, the student turned sorcerer swordsman. Bound to the Queen of Curses, Yuta cleaves through the competition with the help of cursed spirit Rika. Replicating any curse technique, Yuta achieves limitless potential as the copy-paste demon. It's about time we harness the cursed energy within. Domain expansion. Have a taste of my true domain, the fraudulent farmer's facade. Back in my day, we did things a little bit differently, and all I gotta say is that we invented these curse techniques that you're all using today. I'm so used to the Edo period rice fields, but I guess these waffle houses aren't really that bad. Anyway, if you want to turn up the volume, make sure to like and subscribe. This is a funeral for the living, so join up and become enlightened. Anyway, in game, I was able to recreate Yuta, our favorite cursed swordsman, based on his appearance from the Culling games. As a Kanor, I was able to pull off his dark hair and fair skin very easily with some extra eye bags using our facial markings. Yuta's outfit also hasn't changed very much, so a combination of the Pale Assassin and Cloak of Winds, I did my best to capture that theme. It's a little bit more inspired by what he wears because we're very limited with white outfits in Deepwoken. With a further inspection, you'll notice my weapon of choice is an obfuscation alloy katana. Of course, Yuta's domain expansion offers him a multitude of cursed technique katanas, but our primary ordinance was something very special. Imbued with the spirit of Rika, we harness our cursed katana. The weight of our combined strength cuts down and slices our opponents into ribbons. Obfuscation works best as a combination attack of both Yuta and Rika, so we hit our opponent and Rika helps us out, doing extra damage to blocking opponents with her ghastly presence. Just for fun, I'll also be running the Poser's Ring. Yuta attacks at light speed as he surpasses some of the strongest threats from many of the strongest sorcerers in all of Jujutsu Kaisen. With instantaneous slashes, he brings down enemies and disembodies them effortlessly with his special Rika Ring Cursed Katana. The Poser's Ring contained our very own cursed spirit and let us outsmart the enemy without doing any extra work. A single sheath is enough to win, and our targets don't even know it. Also, if Yuta does turn out to become a future fraud, maybe the Poser's Ring will be a little bit more accurate. Anyway, to deal with the terror within, Yuta has to grow mentally to withstand Rika's true power. We accept that we're truly strong, and our stats reflect that. Enough time wasting, let's move on to Yuta's full range of abilities. The Queen of Curses, Rika herself, resides inside Yuta's cursed ring. In her life as a human, Rika's promise to stay by Yuta's side forever lasted into the afterlife as she assists him as a cursed spirit. Insanely powerful, Rika was born from Yuta's love and mental willpower as she crushes anything that dares to insult her true love. Partially manifested in-game, we can only summon small glimpses of Rika's presence, visualized by a small cursed Gale Wisp and some Spectre Path sorcery. Helping out when she can, Rika's support comes forth as she leaps out and slams our targets, stunning them for additional combos. There's so much more to Rika's power than meets the eye, and yeah, she helps us. A wrathful, hateful spirit, Rika enacts lethal justice on all of Yuta's enemies. Connected to Yuta through love itself, she manifests ghastly claws that tear opponents to shreds. Nothing stands in the way of true love. Appearing behind us while attacking in unison, Rika's wrath is released upon the deep with the help of metal armament. If we slide, she slides. Rika slashes instantly after we hit our opponents, confusing them and stunning them completely. While Yuta is methodical with his attacks and clean katana cuts, Rika is the opposite, crushing the enemy into a cursed ball of flesh and blood. Savagely ripping foes limb from limb, Rika doesn't care how she looks because Yuta accepts who she is. Born from the shadows, Rika comes to life and brings challengers down into the depths of death itself. Rika, come forth. Just like Yuta himself, we summon Rika's grasp to stop opponents dead in their tracks. Clutching Shadow does the job correctly, forcing anyone to momentarily bow their head to the Queen of Curses herself. Proving to be extremely versatile, Yuta's curse technique alongside the help of Cursed Spirit Rika, he can utilize any cursed ability without any cost. One technique in particular, one of Yuta's favorites, is Cursed Speech. With a single word, Yuta creatively harnesses Cursed Speech to pause and destroy his enemy without any remorse. Cursed Speech becomes easy with our very high charisma. Stunning the enemy with an enormous Sing Encore, we can extend combos freely as we freeze them in place. The Cursed Speech stop command is also increased further with the help of Dazing Finisher. There's no escaping the inherited technique of Cursed Speech. With an act of pure love, both Rika and Yuta come together to release something insane. The Pure Love Beam is a deadly blast of concentrated curse energy that eliminates anything in its path. This single attack alone is enough to justify Yuta's position as a special grade sorcerer. Manifesting fully, Rika comes further, releasing a blast of cursed energy as a frozen servant of freezing death. If you want to try this out with pink crystals, that's a little bit more accurate than what I did. Taking this an extra step further, we also utilize the Soul Jar's beam attack to concentrate even more energy as we pierce any obstacle standing before us. If I'm being honest, I've been talking a whole lot about Rika this, Rika that, but Yuta can stand his own as a full-on sword master sorcerer. Despite his reliance on Rika, Yuta is able to speed blitz some of the fastest characters in the entire series, standing toe-to-toe with the King of Curses and eliminating Kenjaku with a single slice. Don't sleep on his skills as a swordsman. Completely showcasing his speed with a sword, we teleport to our enemy with an instantaneous burst using Flash Straw Strike. With the ability to perception blitz many of his past opponents, Yuta is truly a special grade. Adding on top of our Flash Straw Strike both Spectre Path's Vanishing Wraith and the air counter aerial attack, it's super easy to close the gap when approaching targets. Yuta's proficiency as a swordsman isn't limited to just cursed spirits, but he can take on multiple insane level threats at the same time. During his fight in the Sendai colony, Yuta is able to stand against some of the strongest in the verse with Rika and his cursed katana alone. Nothing is standing between him and that W, and trust me, he's a demon with a sword. With a burst of sword slashes, we utilize Master's Flourish to represent Yuta's presence as a master swordsman, catching enemies lacking and bisecting them completely. We swing without any hesitation. A combination of his speed and sword mastery, Twin Cleave lets us get in and out of combat while attacking at the same time. With a small speed boost from Rika, we can leap back after slamming into targets. Yuta absolutely abuses his ability to copy curse techniques, allowing him to battle as an efficient sorcerer like no other. This is shown during his fight with Sukuna, the King of Curses. After throwing hands and tanking hits, Yuta steals and shoots out Cleave, amazing everyone. A second is all Yuta needs to catch Sukuna off guard to follow up with a Cleave combo with Rika included. With the combination of our cursed energy and the countless cleaves, we slice through our opponent with a cursed wind passage. This is a surefire way to bypass blocking enemies and strike them from behind. You can see my technique. Don't you mean our technique? Enter the world of swords, an unlimited blade works of swords full of infinite potential. Activating the peak of his curse technique, Yuta's true and mutual love forms into existence. Inside lays an arsenal of cursed katanas containing stolen curse techniques which he uses with maximum efficiency. As of right now, we're not too sure how Rika and Yuta steal these techniques, but nothing is safe from the copy ninja himself. Domain expansion, True and Mutual Love. The initial domain expansion of True and Mutual Love was met using Vision Shaper's illusory realm. Once inside, there is no escape. The act of summoning these cursed katanas is almost easy to Yuta. Windforge was a manifestation of these cursed swords that seek out enemies and pierce their defense entirely. Only active for a second, that's all we need to use these stolen abilities. And that's about it for Yuta, but hopefully it's not the end for him in the entire Jujutsu Kaisen series. Take a look at my full talent list. Moving on to some fights with the domain-wielding demon duo, both Yuta and Rika. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm trying something new with the manga and anime content that you guys want to see. So, as always, if you want to help me out, please make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one. It's punchin' time.